Hi guys, today I'm gonna do my 2025 reading goals. I'm just gonna get straight on with it. My first goal is basically my Goodreads reading goal. I have 120 books on there to read by the end of the year. If I don't reach it, I really don't care. It's not that serious. I know some people don't like putting a goal, or they said this year they're not putting one because it stresses them out. If reading is stressing you out because of your reading goal, just don't do it. I mean, I don't care. It's on the app. I just put a random number. And if I want to increase it or decrease it by the middle of the year, I'll see if I want to do that. But probably not. I just left it last year the same. And I'll see how I go about that. And also, I that could be, yeah, that would be my second reading goal, is to DNF more books when I'm really not enjoying. I used to want to finish the books all the time, and then I started towards the end of last year. I started DNFing as soon as especially if I'm almost halfway through and it's really, there's nothing gripping me, I am not enjoying the journey, I DNF the book. I really don't care. There's too many books to read for me to sit here and spend hours on something I'm not enjoying just to give it a low rating. I won't even give something a rating if I really hated it, or if I DNF'd it. There's no rating. I just move on and unhaul the book and bring it to the secondhand bookstore, and someone else can enjoy it. That's it. Basically, that's my second. My third goal is to purchase books more intentionally, meaning I want to only have books on my shelves that I know I really loved and I would possibly reread, and not have so many books that are just mid or that I probably will never read again, or that, just to hoard books, right? So I'm a very big fan of unhauling if I'm not interested, especially since a lot of my certain genres I don't read as much anymore, or I don't physically buy anymore. For example, some thrillers or mystery books I won't purchase unless it's from a secondhand store, or sometimes if they're super discounted and it's something I know I'll, want to reread or whatever, maybe I'll buy them. But I try not to get those anymore, because once I know the plot and the twist, well, the plot obviously, but the plot twist, and who did it, and who the killer is or whatever, it's not interesting for me to go back and reread it because the mystery is gone. So those books I try not to buy as much anymore. My next goal is to sign up for a library card. Now, I do have a library card physically, but my local library doesn't have much English books. So I need to find a library subscription that has audiobooks and English books so that I can better utilize that, especially for genres that I'm not into purchasing as much, as I mentioned, such as the thrillers or mysteries, or sometimes some nonfiction books, or some, romance books that I don't necessarily want to keep. I would definitely, be the good person to use a library card at the rate that I read. So that is on my to-do list for now. We'll have to see where I can get that. My next goal is to finish and or catch up on the series that I already own physically on my shelves. So it's mostly for fantasy and sci-fi series. So some of them that are complete and I have all the books, I just want to read them, move on. If it's an ongoing series, at least I'll be caught up, or at least I'll know if I even want to continue with it. So that is a big goal of mine. And to help with that, what I'm going to do is, where the series has 3 books, or even 4 if they're not very long books, so 3 to 4 books, I want to read those back to back within the same month, so that I can be, just super engaged with the world building and the characters, the magic system, if there is one. And I don't want to take long breaks between books and series, especially fantasy, because then I feel like I forget details and I lose interest, and I don't want to do that. So reading back to back is definitely best for me. I did a huge mistake last year when I tried to read Throne of Glass, and I didn't try to read it. I did read it, and when I got to the tandem read, I had taken such big breaks between Air of Fire, Queen of Shadows. I was just not into it anymore, and it was like in the middle of the summer. It was just not it. And I tried to do the tandem read. I think I read like a third or a fourth of it, and I stopped it there because I don't want that to I started to feel slumpy, so I don't want that to hinder the experience, especially when you get to Kingdom of Ash. So I put that aside and I learned my lesson there. I will not be reading series with, you know, huge gaps in between the books, because that is not good. And even better, reading a trilogy within a month. I did that in February. I loved it. Back to back, could not put anything down, super engaged. So that works best for me. This month I'm doing the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. And next month I'm gonna do the Bloodsworn saga, I think it's called, from John Gwynne. My next goal is to read mostly from my physical TBR this year. I really need to read what I already own. I am even using my Everand, and which is used to be Scribd, so Everand, Scribd, whatever you want to call it, and Audible subscriptions to use my audiobook credits to finish the books that I already own. So just to help me get through them quicker, instead of just getting audiobooks for newer titles that I can just read at a later time, unless it's something super anticipated. For example, Sunrise on the Reaping, that is coming out next week. I'll be doing the audiobook for that because I don't want to purchase the physical book. I want to wait until the special edition comes out, but I do want to, you know, read the book. So I'll be doing that through audio, but definitely reading from my TBR mostly. So more books from my shelves than books purchased this year, because I need to clear out, you know, what I already have. There are books that could possibly be unhauled, so I want to make sure that the TBR is very, very low by the end of the year. That's my main goal, honestly, just to read from there. Even if, you know, I said I want to do the library card thing because, you know, that does help save a lot of money, especially for someone who reads a lot. I do want to do that, but I think that this year I'm focused more on the physical TBR than just reading newer books, or not even newer, just stuff that I don't have yet. So that's my most important goal, honestly. It goes hand in hand with, you know, purchasing less books and purchasing more intentionally. So being mindful of, you know, am I gonna want to have something on my shelves? You know, so that's my main goal. There's something also with reading, you know, or purchasing more intentionally. For example, I love the Never After series by Emily McIntyre, but I've read all of them, but I don't own all of them. I only own the ones that I absolutely loved. There's two of them that I were just fine. One of them I didn't enjoy as much, but they're fine overall. But the ones that I absolutely love, I have physically, and the ones that I didn't have, um, that I didn't enjoy that much, I don't need to have. Even if they're on sale, they were on Book Outlet at some point for like $7.99. I still didn't purchase them. I don't need to have every single book from a series, especially when they're interconnected standalones, especially in romance. You know, like, I don't need to have all the books in the series. I'll just keep the ones I absolutely enjoy and that I want to reread. There's some of them one of them I read 3 times already, another one I read twice. Like, I love these books, so I know I'm gonna enjoy and reread them. The last goal I had noted was to use Fable as well as Goodreads, because I did like their layout and the types of stats that they put. So I do enjoy that. I still love Goodreads just because I've had it for so long, and the way they set up you're currently reading and you update your progress. I like that. I like it better than Fable for now. So I did import my library over there, and I'm trying to update both of these apps every time I read my book. So trying to keep up with that and see at the end of the year if I enjoy more my reading stats on Fable compared to Goodreads. So we'll see. I think I will always keep a Goodreads account because there's just so many reviews on that platform. If I want to go see reviews, I'm definitely going to go on Goodreads. I never go on Fable for reviews. It's purely just for seeing, you know, what my friends or their book clubs are reading, or just updating my reading for the stats, and you know, the cute little graph you have where it shows you, you know, how many books you read in a month, and there's all these cute colors. So it does look nice, but it's not as practical as Goodreads. So I have both of them for now, and we'll see if I want to keep it for 2026. That's basically all I have for you today. It's just a quick video about my reading goals, if you want to call it that. Share down below if you have any reading goals of your own that would be helpful, or if you just want to chat about them. You know, maybe there's something that we didn't even think about that would be helpful to, you know, the bookish community. Thanks and have a nice day.